All right, so we're here on a table in Yosemite, close to Yosemite. What is the area called?
Tenaya Lake.
Tenaya Lake. And yeah, we decided to have a gospel table talk, um, a talk about some of the experiences that we have, um, that we hold together, actually. We met in Jerusalem at one point, and we've traveled together. To some places in the world to testify about Jesus, what He has done in our lives, and um, yeah, to testify about the gospel of the kingdom, and yeah, just a life of simplicity that belongs to that, and how God has provided along the way. So yeah, maybe you want to start off.
Yeah, sure. So after traveling the country pretty extensively for 22 years, I remember speaking to Gabriel and I said, well, why don't we just take the gospel to the nations and start getting more of a pulse rate? Because the Great Commission has to do with taking it unto the ends of the earth. And so we've done a lot of travel extensively throughout the US and thought, okay, let's do this. So our desire was to go to the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
and with no agenda, no plan, just see what Yeshua was going to do. Just land there, see what happens. So we ended up traveling through 9 countries in 3 months with the desire and objective to go to Jerusalem and
Mm-hmm.
Israel during that time. So while we were in Jerusalem, we met you.
Yeah,
But
that was nice. I was there. Out. I think it was in the Ben Yehuda Street or something, and I was out
night.
there at night. I went out for falafel, and just to look around in those shops. I think it was the second time or something that I was in Israel,
You bought a shofar, right?
or the first time, and then I bought a shofar. That's right. Yeah, and I just bought it. I was trying it, and well, it's the first instrument in the Bible, a holy instrument, and I think that's when you came up, and then what do
we
you?
were just walking up the street there, as we usually do. Me and Micaiah go to like busy areas, like the marketplace, as some people call it, to just try to be sensitive to the spirit, to look for somebody to talk to. And as we were,
I think you just came.
we
You
were
just
pushing our
rode
bikes.
all the way up,
We had our
right?
bicycles. Yeah,
I've done
we were
that,
just
so I know.
like scanning the street to see, who we should be talking to, and then after spending like a month in the Netherlands, I definitely got familiar with the sound of that unique language. And I heard it, and I was just like, I think they're speaking Dutch. So we went over you and asked you if you were from the Netherlands, and you just lit up.
Yes, yeah. And I remember you were just these guys that were walking up with two bikes,
all loaded down, right?
all loaded down, panniers on the front, panniers on the back, like. And then I think you went that day all the way from the airport, maybe. Can that be?
No,
from Tel Aviv area?
No, I don't think.
At least you rode all the way up to Jerusalem.
The Dead Sea, up to Jerusalem. We were always putting on miles on our bicycle.
Yeah.
I
So
remember exactly.
and I remember I was practicing that the blast of the shofar. So I was
like
joking.
a little squeak at the time.
Yeah, well, I think there came some sounds.
Yeah.
But well, these guys sometimes they know how to make music with it.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's something special to it, especially because, of course, the shofar is the instrument that it exemplifies the second coming, the return of the Lord, the trumpet sound, calling His people, gathering soldiers for the battle. And then I think I made that joke back then. I was like, so you were coming on the sound of the shofar, right?
Yeah.
So
it has to do with the calling of the assemblies together.
Yes.
As well. So yeah, I guess that was
Call
that
for
was
repentance.
Yeah.
A call for the nations to repent, and yeah.
So by that time, we had traveled throughout a lot of Israel. We ended up doing 1,000 miles through the whole country. Also, we did 1,000 miles. It was neat through Europe as well. Yeah. So we had met you, and we are just getting ready to go into Egypt because we had to finish our 3-month visa in Israel, but you're allowed to get out of the country for a few days and then come back. So we were going to Egypt. We rode through the desert. we were going to spend just a few days, maybe like 10 days, I think it was. We were going to pray and fast.
Yeah.
And then what happened was we ended up staying there for 3 months because the witness was so good. We were meeting backpackers, people from all over the world. It was fantastic. And so when we were minded to come back into Israel, we were in contact. I mean, in fact, we were together until like 2 in the morning. I think.
Yeah. So it was
late.
funny. You when we exchanged phone numbers, you put your name. It's still in my phone until today. You put Micaiah, the poor rich man.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed because we were talking about sharing the gospel with Jews and Gentiles,
Sure, yeah.
and what that would look like. And I remember that at one point there came a rabbi walking by, and I was like, "So how do you share the gospel with these guys?" He's like, "Watch this," and just right from there, on the spot, you said something like, "Hey, doesn't the sages say the world is made on 3 pillars? What was it again? It was the Torah, it was Chesed, and then he said Avodah, I think, something like that." And we get him talking, and then at one point, I was like, okay, but we already passed midnight. It's maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna sleep? It's like, yeah, foxes have holes.
The birds of the air have nests.
Yes. Yes.
But
So
the disciple's not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord.
I was pretty impressed because you were like,
he was out there in the Mount of Olives, right?
Yes. You said like, yeah, we're just gonna check it out, and we'll camp out somewhere.
Sure. It worked out. Yeah, it's not a problem in Israel.
No,
they have bigger fish to fry, as they say.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we came back into Jerusalem, you were minded to meet up with us for 8 days, and you brought another duchy with you, and it was during Pesach.
That's right.
So that was really neat. Lots of Gentiles were flying in for that. There was there's a buzz. There's a beautiful rhythm that takes place.
We came to camp with you.
Yeah.
I wanted to check it out. How you?
And we slept.
How you roll?
We slept in the city walls, right?
Yeah. We slept on the city walls, hammock.
Yeah, where was
we
that?
put our hammock there. That was in the old city of David, like next to the Tower of David.
It was called it was called the Rampart Walk, and the Tower of David might be somewhere else. But we
just next to it.
The Tower of David.
Yeah.
I would like to say when we were in Egypt for the 3 months, which we weren't expecting to be there, it was amazing. Like the amount of divine appointments that were working out. Like one, we were only going to be there for 10 days, but it was a little village where it was like multicultural village. People were coming all over to do sport. You know, as you guys say in Europe, to do sport, like kite surfing and things like that. And we would just wait every day. It just seemed like somebody would come, and we just devoted our days.
Pitch your tents like Abraham.
Available. Just
be available.
I like what Richard Warmbrandt said. You know, your greatest ability is your availability. So if you're not like putting yourself out there,
that's great.
Like, how is he going to use you? You can like read all these books and have all this intellectual knowledge of it, but it's good to be sharing it with people.
Practice what you preach. Yeah, that's something that stood out to me. I mean, you can share a message, but it would only be powerful once you live up to it. And it's something that I saw, that I felt like, well, I want to see how that works out to just get back to Jerusalem. You were there for 3 months in Egypt. I went skiing with some friends, and I was a ski teacher back then in Switzerland, I think. And then at one point I said to him like, oh, let's go to Jerusalem. And we hung out there for 2 weeks. And I think that was the time we came. The first night when we slept with tents, I think we slept in the Valley of Hinnom. We slept in the Valley of Hinnom, and there was not a guard. How do you call these guys?
There was
someone wanted to check if we were not.
They had like a band.
They wanted to know maybe that we were not terrorists or something. And we were sleeping in the Valley of Hinnom. And for those who do not know, that is translated hell in the Bible, in the Old Testament, right? So this is the valley where Moloch, there were sacrificed children, but it is even promised also that it will blossom again. And although there has been so much corruption, it will blossom again one day. And when we were sleeping there, it's all nature right now.
It's beautiful, right? really neat. Yeah, we had so many nice experiences. We had met an ultra-Orthodox Breslov couple that had a large family, and they let us stay with them. I mean, we had such favor. We were living with Orthodox Jewish family, and they knew we were Gentile, but they're like, you know more about Jewish things than we do. Some of them, their children, they weren't as Orthodox, but it was really neat, the favor that we had to be among them, to share, and just not push our faith or anything like that. But they had questions, and I think the more you learn about Jewish things and learn about more about the roots of your own faith, the rhythms that Yeshua had and things that he did, it just gives a lot more
the context of what he said,
credibility to it, and for Jewish people to be more receptive and listen to what you have to say.
Something about like bike touring is you become very interesting to people because you obviously, I know it's a little more common maybe in Europe, but like you could have like a sign. We had one on his bike. He did, "What are you living for?"
What are you living for?
Yeah,
that's a great question.
That's
the question.
They see that you've obviously come from somewhere and you're going somewhere, so there's a story, so it makes you very approachable. So then you can just share your testimony, why you travel, and then you can just speak about how Yeshua has like redeemed our life and he's given us a desire to bring the gospel.
And it's also really Jewish to ask people questions, not just give them answers, but give them a question that would puzzle them and that would bring them to a paradigm shift where they like have to rethink some of the concepts that they live. That's a great question, and it says in the scriptures to make them jealous. Right?
I mean, we're not out to just like, Yeshua is the one who does the conversion.
There you go.
We simply just have to be a good example, be a light. One person said something that was really profound. He said that the Almighty hasn't called us to be a prosecuting attorney. We're just called to be a witness. And so that's what we are. We're just witnesses on behalf of what the Messiah has done for us, in hopes that would provoke them, that the Ruach that lives in us would be something like, how do you have that? Where does that come from? You're Goy, you're Gentile. So
how could you have this covenant relationship with my God?
That's right. So,
he's even named the God of Israel.
I mean, it's sad, all the atrocity that has happened to the Jewish people in the name of Yeshua.
Even today.
Oh yeah, it's just tragic. It's so sad. But yeah, we want to try to redeem that. Just love them and be a blessing to them. And just share. Yeshua would share the word with people as they had ears to hear, as they were able to hear it. So sometimes we could just be talking past someone or just being too forceful and in ways that like they just can't receive that. So we need to be discerning to know where people are at and what to share, what kind of bread to break off, and that's good. That goes for anyone and everyone.
It goes for anyone.
Most people probably prefer sips and not gulps.
There have been so much damage and walls of religion built up, strongholds, because of the history, and many Christians, they don't know their history of all the crusades, and they thought that I would say Catholics, but Christians were even worse than Muslims in doing pogroms and doing inquisitions and doing actually doing
just there's more blood on Catholics' hands than maybe Muslims. Is that what you're saying?
That is what they've learned from history. So there's something that they need to see within us that is different than what religiosity has showed them.
Because I mean, that's their exposure to it, what they see in their midst.
And then they don't see Jesus because of it.
I couldn't blame them for not like converting because of that kind of testimony, bowing down to images, and
they were forced with the sword to bow down to Jesus, and if they wouldn't, they would be killed. And
I mean, even
it happened
presently, you just see some of the things that are going on there. So it's like, this is the Messiah, and this is what he's come to bring. Obviously, this is not what we're waiting for. And this is not what the Tanakh teaches.
Exactly.
So.
That's sad that Yeshua has become Gentile to them, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's a veil. It's like in a way they're sleeping. The Bible says in Romans 11, and they will wake up one day. And so in some way they it's even God's sovereignty. where they cannot see it because it's part of that great plan that is going to be fulfilled, right?
Some
the
of
olive
it
tree.
reminds me of Joseph too, how when he revealed himself unto his brethren, he put all the Egyptians out. So, oftentimes Elohim is revealed most deeply in tragedy. And, nation, like right now, there's a lot of sobering things happening in the land of Israel.
Yeah.
And it's causing them to think a lot. And,
well, they suffer the same rejection and misunderstanding that Jesus actually suffered.
It's true.
In a way. So at one place it says they will look on the one they have pierced, but then the world will also look on the one they have pierced. And they suffer the same thing. Misunderstanding, lies, a bunch of spirit of lie.
So after we came back to Jerusalem, it was interesting. We were there during the time of Pesach, so we had lots of people to talk to, and we were really desirous that we'd be able to meet someone and have Pesach meal with them.
Traditional.
And so we're in Machane Yehuda, which is the market, the main market there. And all of a sudden, there was this man kind of looking at us, unique kind of way. Oftentimes, when people look at us like that, looks like you want to ask us a question. But you went over and spoke to him. His name was Oded. Sweet soul.
Still in contact with him.
Yeah, he just brought us right up, and we had this really neat Pesach meal, right?
Yeah, it was pretty like bold of them, like for his wife to invite there was four of us, four men come have a Pesach meal
just with him
and their whole family.
And their whole family, children.
They had young children. Yeah, which
it's hospitable.
Part of the custom, though, right?
We need to relearn that.
But not only did they take us in and we got to celebrate with them, it was pretty nice because they had some pretty good questions around the table, like because Pesach has to do with redemption, and they asked a question. It was like, what do you feel like you still need redemption from?
That's what he asked.
Really,
that's a good question.
So and then they might have asked another good question. So what do you need redemption from? And something about like, how is like your deliverance been? Or there was another question, and I really just primed the situation to be able to testify about Yeshua. So I was thankful how that worked out. Because there was times where we didn't want to just come forcefully and just share our faith, but if you're just patient, you ask questions, and they start to build a trust, and they'll ask you questions.
It needs to be something from the heart. People can't be forced or like convicted like that. But at least they need to have the information available that is hidden from them, and that's where we can come in and share the truth, right?
We're supposed to provoke them to jealousy.
That's right.
There's a testimony. I'm really fond of this testimony. We were invited to a ultra orthodox man's house for Sukkot, and which is also another festival. You're supposed to bring in guests. We're like the Ushpazim, like we weren't like part of the tribe. We were like the Gentile guests. But it was the family. They probably had like 4 kids, and it was just they were like just dancing, and it was really festive. But we started getting into it with the husband just talking about scriptures, and it came out that he has read the New Testament. And he started saying like how it was one of the most beautiful pieces of literature he's ever read. And as he's telling us,
it's so Jewish.
We're looking over at his wife, and she's like, you
read that thing?
She couldn't believe it, you know? And then, we talked about it for a while, and then after he left, he went and did something. She came to us. She's like, do you have a New Testament? I would like to read it. And we had one in Hebrew. And she's like, what should I read? And do not tell my children. And she took the scriptures and went to her room and read it that night.
She read the Sermon on the Mount. I think, right?
They're always so surprised once they read the New Testament in Hebrew, and they're like, this is hidden from us. But then it's prophesied in the Bible that would happen. Right? So we're living in interesting times.
It was quite an adventure, to say the least. I'm really glad that we just went forth in faith, and he just opened doors like we couldn't even have planned to open those kind of doors for us.
That was 10 and a half months we were on the road. It was
that was
like
a long
10
trip.
and a half month tour.
Yeah.
You know? And for us to do that, we really had to well, one, God's faithful. He said, if we seek him first in his righteousness and we go forth in faith, he'll provide like he does for the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. And yeah, we just saw that he would work things out. And we also just had to really manage our finances. You know, so when we were down in Egypt, we, instead of staying at a hostel, we asked him if we could stay on top. And we pitched our tent on top. Yeah, and we had a beautiful view
on the rooftop,
overlooking the Red Sea, and Saudi Arabia was on the other side.
I think we were only spending $5 a day.
Yeah,
and then eventually somebody took interest in us, and we had 2 different places opened up to us. So we just saw God's provisions just bountifully, and sustaining us so we could be out in the field sharing the gospel.
And it wasn't like we had support from the United States. If we needed it, we could have had it. But we went over there. We had did some work. We had some finances.
So you work sometimes, then you travel, then you work again. And sometimes people want to bless you.
Sure, that happens. Especially in the Netherlands. Very hospitable, kind, generous folk, for sure.
So what happened? How did you came over?
Well, let me share one other thing, right?
Yeah, okay.
What's that? Which one were you thinking?
Oh, I was actually thinking you're going to go back to the States and how you needed time to...
Oh, no. Well, what happened was, remember the duchy you brought over?
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to go and see more of Israel, so we wanted to see Bethel and Shiloh, Mount Gerizim.
That's right.
Shechem.
Yeah.
Nablus.
Yeah, we kind of got it. We took a wrong turn there.
Wrong turn.
That was kind of wild.
Maybe we should get into that a little bit.
We're told not to go to Nablus with the rental car.
Yeah.
And
with Israeli plates. Right?
Israeli plates.
Oh,
and
the worst place to be in the West Bank.
Sure.
They will kidnap
Big
you.
Beards look like we're Israeli.
Oh yeah. Well, there was some car that was following us when we were in Nablus. You remember that?
Yeah.
We went left, they went left. We went right, they went right for
wild.
quite a long time.
Yeah, we had to shake them a little bit.
Yeah,
them, right?
yeah. And all eyes were on us.
Yeah, so we visited some of these sites, and then as we came to the border crossing, it was the Afula border crossing, it was closed. It was nighttime. And it was just like, no way.
At night, stuck in the West Bank at a border crossing, they say, turn around.
Yeah.
That's the direction we came from that we didn't want to go.
They were talking to us over from the tower on a loudspeaker
in
Arabic or something like that. And so we just didn't know what we were going to do.
Such an eerie feel.
Oh, it really was.
Wow,
like,
weird.
What are we going to do here? It's nighttime. We're in a foreign place.
Can't get out of the West Bank.
I ended up talking to that Palestinian guy, and he was telling me over there was another border on the Netanya side, and so we ended up going through there, and the GPS, as we're getting really close, started routing us this really weird way. We couldn't understand what was going on because the border was like right over there, and we couldn't seem to get to it. And we ended up going through this little village, and this Palestinian soldier called out to us. And I was like, Gabriel, just keep going. And he said it kind of low. He wasn't like demanding or yelling out, but it was like loud enough where...
He actually said something? He didn't just motion?
He might have motioned, said like kind of pull over, and I was like, whoa. And you didn't speed up. I was like, just keep going. So we kept getting routed, and we ended up going through the same village again.
Yeah.
And we asked a man at a store, and he called over that same guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so next thing you know, like we're just
come surrounded.
Corner, right?
We're
all those soldiers.
Guys with big, like automatic weapons.
Yeah, big guns like that.
Yeah.
And they wanted our passports.
And we were so reluctant to give them.
And
we're never going to see those
I think it
passports
was
again.
in the time when Trump said we will change the embassy to Jerusalem.
Right.
And then you had USA passports, like we're from the USA. And they were thinking,
and we were
who are
traveling.
these guys?
You guys had a ukulele.
Yes, that's right.
He wanted to check the car. Right?
That was...
he called me out of the driver's seat and he's like, let me see what you guys got.
Yeah, so I thought I should just do the tourist thing of smile and wave. And I was just putting on a smile and I pretended that I didn't understand anything. And I was like, play a bit on the ukulele to this guard. He was like really strict. And I was like, play, come on, play. He took it. He was looking into it. If there was anything in, I said, come on, play. I said, let me take it. And then I took it. I played a little bit. They had our passports going around all the soldiers.
And more soldiers came up.
Yeah,
like 10 of them at one point.
Like 10 all around the car. And I remember at one point, there was one soldier, and he said to me something like Schneider, and I was like, this
Soccer
guy is
player?
talking about soccer, Dutch soccer.
Yeah.
And then I don't know so much about soccer, football, and I said Van der Vaart, and he's like going on all kinds of old names of Dutch football players, and we're
That
going back and
was
forth, and then
turn
there
for
came a
sure.
smile on his face, and we're
Things
going
changed.
back and forth like we knew
Meanwhile,
something
I'm
about football.
texting.
I said, "You've been there, you've been in Holland, you've been there." You know.
Meanwhile, I'm
it was
texting one of my
crazy.
brothers in America saying, "Listen,
Praying for us.
we're in the West Bank right now. If something happens, because we just
Yeah.
went in and we're
Yeah.
coming out."
And
No
I'm
one-
just
no one
like,
knew
we
were
got the
there.
responsibility of like this, your friend, he was like 19 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I remember
you were
back then.
pretty young too.
I was
like, oh man, we take these Dutchies in the
Yeah.
West Bank with this rental car, and now
That was
they're
pretty wild.
They let us
sure
go.
enough, they let us go, and we got to the Israeli border, and they were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I told them what happened. I was like, "I just give you guys a hug. I was so glad to get back into Israel."
No, there was one woman at the border,
Uh-huh.
and she said like, "Where have you just been?"
yeah, she
Uh-huh.
got
And then we said we came from Jerusalem,
Uh-huh.
and she was like, "Where have you been?
Yeah.
Have you been in Nablus?" We said, "I don't know. We just came from Jerusalem.
I
We
don't
didn't
if
know
it's
which
something that you
reason."
it wasn't like you said anything that was
No, we didn't.
dishonest.
No,
Yeah,
no.
there was something that you had said that
like
evaded
we
the
tried to
question
go
of-
through
Yeah.
the Afula border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn around.
because that would have been crazy. I mean, we had no plans to go to
Yeah.
Nablus, but that's where
Not
a
at
lot of
all.
crazy
Yeah,
things
yeah.
happen.
They probably would have wanted to search
Yeah.
our vehicle.
There was a
They
wild
asked
time.
things like that. Right?
Yeah.
Because anyone like done
Check
work
out
on
for
your- work on
bombs
your
and stuff.
car.
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
why.
mhm.
But then we ended up going through the Netanya border. We ended up camping on the Mediterranean that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a blessing. So we were happy folk to get back,
Yeah.
right?
I think one of you nearly kissed the ground.
Clicking our
That's
heels.
what they do there in
Yeah.
near Israel.
So then what happened was afterwards you left, we finished up our tour there, we went back to the United States, and you were really praying hard for us to come over. You
Yeah.
wanted us, your home fellowship wanted to invite us over to the Netherlands, get to meet them. So we ended up going over with Gabriel, myself, and one of our sisters named Tirza. So it was nice to have a sister along with us.
Mm.
And we just got to tour all of like the Netherlands and meeting all your friends and
Doing some nice conversation ships.
yeah, conversation ships and loving
Some words we came up with.
loving full conversation
Mhm.
ships. That was
Something
great.
that was pretty outstanding about that second trip to the Netherlands is before the first one, when he invited me to go overseas with him so we could just go on tour and get a pulse rate of the nations.
Mhm.
Prior to that, I was just thinking and praying, like, am I going to just be sharing the gospel like the rest of my life in the United States? I was getting kind of fed up because
Okay.
just proud, haughty spirit, just
Mhm.
affluent. And I just wanted to be sharing the gospel with people that were more, that they had more heart of flesh, more tender, and just more
Yeah.
receptive.
Mhm.
So that was really a desire of mine. And when we came back the second time, and you introduced us to a lot of your friends, and your friends introduced us to some of their friends, what I was starting to see is a real receptiveness and like a brokenness, like a real realization is that we can be doing more. We can give more of ourselves for the gospel. We can really be taking up our cross, denying ourselves, and following Yeshua if we just had some inspiration, had some ideas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember just sitting in living rooms with you and your friends, and we'd be on our knees just crying and praying sometimes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful time.
There definitely seemed to be low-hanging fruit in the Netherlands,
Mhm.
as you like to say.
Mhm.
And then
That's right.
we ended up touring around a bit more, visiting some people that we had met. And actually, it was really neat. We met a man who's from Germany. He's a school teacher in Switzerland. And we stayed with him, and he's an English teacher. And he invited us to come into his class and speak about our lives. And we were able to talk about anything and everything. And so we did for a while. So that was pretty neat. We went to two other schools as well. One was a public school. Another one was a Christian school.
Two public schools
in the Netherlands,
one
right?
in Switzerland, one in the Netherlands, and then a private Christian school in the Netherlands.
That's right, yeah. And so that's something that you will probably never see in America. You know, people testifying about the gospel and their travels in a public school.
In a public school.
So that was pretty neat to be able to do that. And it was just a pretty exciting time, you know. We were met with just so much kindness and provision
Yeah.
in our travels.
And then you had
fantastic.
just only 3 months in the Schengen and you wanted to come back.
Yeah.
So we decided to go through Spain.
That's
You
right.
wanted to see what it would be like to share
Definitely.
the gospel off a bicycle,
Off a
right?
bicycle, hardcore,
Yeah.
hardcore bicycle.
Yeah. Just green.
Oh, yeah.
Completely
Yep.
green.
Well,
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
you knew how to cycle. I mean, you're
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Netherlands. You were
Yeah.
almost born on a
I'm,
bicycle, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's your first birthday present.
Yeah.
No,
You got a bike
But-
together from a friend, right? That gave you the bike?
no, from Marktplaats.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
We went and picked it up with you.
Yeah.
Miata.
That's right.
Yeah,
That was later on. You got a bike.
that was later on. Yeah,
So we
but
flew.
but you guys, you were something. Huh? I mean, we thought it was a bit more flat. I'm used to flat, I'm
Yeah.
Dutch.
Oh, you guys want
But
to talk about
we did
Belgium?
all the in Spain. We did all the high
That's right.
and
Oh, we got to rewind. We went to visit a friend of yours in Belgium, and while we were
Yeah.
there, we were just spending time with the family. Gabriel was playing tag.
They had like a freeze tag game or something. So this is like 3 days before our big tour through Europe and
from
Morocco.
Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had this idea of playing tag. I was just going to climb up a tree right above the guy who was, supposed to tag. And I jumped out of the tree and tagged him. And the kids were like, "Whoa, do that again." That was, they were impressed. So I climbed back up the tree, did it again, only I didn't realize that I actually went a whole nother section higher because the tree was so symmetrical at the same.
Yeah.
And when I was falling through the air, I realized, I just jumped from the wrong place and I hit the concrete. The most pain I've ever experienced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, definitely broke both of my heels or fractured them because there happened to be a bone specialist at the meeting that we were at. He analyzed it, but yeah, that was not the way to start off a 1,500-mile
No,
bike trip.
but then you were on the airport in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
We put you in a wheelchair, and we had all those bikes on the airport in the boxes.
I was like a train.
And then we
right?
set you on the bicycle because you can cycle, you can't walk, but then you can go on the bicycle.
That
So
was,
that's hardcore, I say.
that
yeah.
was like lean on me, brother.
Mhm.
Need a hand. There's
Yeah.
that song in America. We all need somebody to lean on. Well, I definitely needed you. You
Mm.
guys like carried me. Like, you carried
Yeah.
me.
I
to
carried
bed
you
that
from
night.
from the stairs.
Sometimes it looked like people thought he was drunk, maybe.
Just like between both you, Arthur.
Oh
yeah.
man,
that was
the
wild.
adventure.
But some time ago, in a place called Arizona, you had met Arnau.
Oh yeah, just a guy from Spain. He was backpacking, going up to the Grand Canyon. Yeah, met him and had a really nice time with him. And he just said, if you're ever in Spain, here's my email. Give me a call. Never, because I hadn't even gone overseas at that point when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gave me that, I didn't even hold on to the information. But my friend found out we were going to Spain, and he's like, "You remember that guy? You should give him a call." So we called him up, and we had a landing pad.
Yeah, that was
And I needed it because I didn't even have crutches at that time. So we had a whole week to stay in Barcelona for my heels to kind of recover.
And then
Yeah.
Arnau was just really interested in what we had to share, and he was very receptive.
Mm.
Yeah, we still kept in touch with
I
him for
think
some
we
time.
all agreed that that was the highlight of Spain, is to be able to labor with him because he was so tender, because he just broke up with a long-standing relationship with a girl, and he was just ready to receive, and he was asking questions like, how do you pray?
That was neat. But Spain was not flat. Yes,
It wasn't.
It was 800 miles of up and down. It was intense. Really
And me as a sport teacher, I expected that it was going to be more. But then, yes, definitely, we rode 6 days a week, from 6 in the morning into 7 in the evening.
Yeah, because we only
had
had
a timeline.
We had to get.
And we did that
800 miles in a
weeks
month.
after. Oh yeah.
And you started off a little heavy.
You start to feel pain in places that you never felt.
That's
Carried
right.
too many nuts and berries at first. I think that was hard on your knees.
Yeah.
I remember.
Had the.
But it was,
But it was good. Sometimes I feel like when you look back on suffering, it's not nice at the moment.
Yeah.
But getting out of your comfort zone can be really good for your personal growth, your character formation as a disciple of Yeshua, of Jesus, and just to really learn what it means to receive love and love one another, and to have good talks about it, and that
Yeah, so it was yourself, myself, Gabriel, and Tirza. So we were 4 of us traveling down the coast. We ended up in Tarifa.
Hold on, wait.
What do you got?
Hold on.
There's
Remember,
so much to talk
I
about.
know, but there's 2 highlights that are worth mentioning. Our first day, we left Barcelona. We rode right into a storm. The very first day, and that wasn't so bad. And you ended up just having this wild idea. I mean, like we're creative in finding camping spots, but this was great. You remember where it was?
Mm-hmm.
You went
We
back
called
and
up.
talked to the guy. No, at the parking garage. This was the first storm.
There you
So
go.
we
Yeah.
slept
In a parking garage.
It
Warm,
was
warm and
warm, no wind.
And you know, I work with homeless people now, so I can relate to some parts of that. I mean, sleeping in a parking garage, man.
But then the storm got worse later on.
I wasn't going to tell my parents this.
Yes. Yeah, right.
What was that? We were along the coast there, and it just kept raining.
Yeah.
And it flooded.
Oh, it was.
And we were just lounging out in the hotel lounge there, right? And then you just got online. You were looking at the yellow pages or the white pages. In America, they used to have those, but
phone book.
The phone book,
Yeah.
And looking, and you found this German guy, and he came and picked us up. His car was like floating on the water practically.
Yes,
so
the
much.
water was like at least this deep.
Yeah.
Like I was into nearly my hips at one point in the water.
Well, when he pulled up to pick us up, I said, "Do not open your door because the water level was above the bottom door line. So if you would have opened that up, water would have went."
Yeah, that was
flooded
wild.
in.
Yeah,
he didn't even know us.
So that was a couple days after.
Yeah.
The
and
garage.
Remember that
experience.
he didn't know why, but he purchased so much extra food because the grocery stores were closed. And his wife was like, "What are you doing?" He just felt like he needed to
do that.
Yeah.
So and they were Christians.
Yeah, they were.
We went to their we went to their fellowship.
Yeah, they were Germans, I think, right?
Can be.
They were doing outreach
I think so.
in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
But then I have to highlight something because that was a wild experience just to go. And every night we wouldn't know the next morning where we were gonna sleep that other night. So we would just take one step at a time.
Yeah.
And we just need to trust that God would provide for us for food, for enough sleep, because if you ride so much you get exhausted.
It makes living by faith way more real.
Yeah. And you learn something there. You learn to trust and depend on him.
You can feel his presence and you can just see his goodness. Like even in like situations where you wouldn't think he would provide, he's so creative. He just keeps like blessing and giving you provisions in ways you wouldn't even expect.
And sometimes we had even to look for a nice spot to camp out when it was already dark.
Oh yeah.
At times. Yeah.
But then people took us in at times on a couple occasions.
That was also great.
Which was really, really nice. We got realize how fortunate you are when you can have a warm shower.
Oh yeah,
that's really nice.
Yeah, what do you do when you're in the middle of the city and it's dark and you don't want to ride all the way through? Yeah. What do? We went to a grocery store and we just talked to people.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you knew how to deal with that. I'm always amazed.
So we ended up went all the way to Tarifa, 800 miles. You made it, and we had a couple more days to spare until we had to get out of the Schengen. We took a ferry into Morocco.
Yep.
Then it rained for like 8 days
in Morocco.
Yeah, it
was getting winter.
Yeah,
it was getting winter times.
Just traveling down the coast in a largely, predominantly Muslim nation.
I think it was in Spain it was like muddy, and Morocco it started off muddy. There was times where we were just like
it was such a different culture.
Yeah, it was.
I remember at one point we had the Arab confusion there. We wanted to cross to a certain village and we needed to be there to sleep there because camping out in Morocco is a bit more dangerous.
Sure.
We did it sometimes, but then at one point there was supposed to be a bridge, but there was no bridge. But there were guys with like small boats, like maybe let's say, I say in meters, like 3 meters, 4 meters long, wooden boats, and they would like, go up and down, like maybe towards the other side of this lake. And we were like, we have these bicycles. We have 4 bicycles, 4 people. Can you bring us over there? How much would that cost?
Yeah.
Right? And they brought us there. So that was adventurous. But then this guy out of nowhere wanted more money and was saying like, yeah, but I wanted more, such and so. So sometimes these language barriers, they can bring you in interesting roads. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some friends that went to Aswita, so we knew about this one location that was our final destination.
Swear,
You
yeah.
went up ahead of us and
Yeah.
ended up getting an apartment. We
Yep.
were there for about what, 2
months.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to renew our visas basically to get back into Europe. So we needed a place to be for 3 months, somewhere cheap, and it was warmer than Europe. So we went in there. One thing that was interesting is we weren't supposed to bring any like Christian stuff, like literature and
That's right.
Bibles.
We hid it.
So we hid it, and that was a rule that we weren't going to obey. And it also worked out. It was kind of a really risky move on our part, but we started meeting people that were interested in things that we had to say. We were having long discussions with the Arabs, and so we just started. We're like, we got to share some literature with them.
Yeah.
So we took Christian literature to the photocopy place, and it was like, just pray that they will be blinded from what they're copying.
That's right.
And they made so many copies of, like, why does Elohim love Muslims? Those were like the titles.
And I remember we were prepared because we were reading this book of Nabil Qureshi. We read it all through. I think it's called Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. Yeah, we wanted to relate to these people.
And then at one point you met Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci.
Fauci,
yes. Yes.
You met Fauci over there.
Yes.
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, so this Moroccan guy named Fauci lived in Asuera, and we could share just so much with him, and I think we gave him all the types of literature we had, and then we kept in contact with him, and he was at my place 3 or 4 months ago in the Netherlands, and he came over to meet, and we continued the talk that we had like 6 years ago, and it was really amazing. I could just share so much because I've studied Islam since, and I just want to understand all the ins and outs. So I could share much more than I could share back then.
What was some of the response?
So he is really interested. He took an Arabic Bible with him, but then I can see at the same time, for these people, it can sometimes be so difficult. There's such a stronghold of fear, and that they don't understand certain things like the Trinity and these types of questions that they come up with. And you just have to love them, and you have to invest in them, but then also break down many of the misconceptions, because they're learned. They've learned so many misconceptions about Christianity, and you have to break them down, just slowly, step at a time. And he was interested, and I could just share. I prepared for him coming because I knew he was coming, and I could share everything that I wanted him to know about the gospel.
So overall our trip was really next level. And then you had said, well, one day I'll come to America. It was kind of neat because you had a real desire to meet some people in Portland, Oregon, and we had just moved to Portland, Oregon, and it was really neat. Well, actually we were visiting with some friends with the desire of trying to get some lodging there, and we had gone on I had gone on ahead, and I met a man that wanted me to do a painting job for him. And after I did the painting job, he said I was welcome to stay there until the new tenants came in. The new tenants came in, and they said, well, you guys don't have to leave, you could just stay with us. And they were not certain.
That was a month free of rent, where we painted the basement.
It was pretty nice. He paid us, and then he's like, well, you can just stay there for another 3 weeks until the tenants come in. But the tenants were Christian as well as the homeowner. And they just said, no, you guys could stay with us. We're thinking about just staying here for a little bit. We may move back to the East Coast. And so more recently, we found out that they wanted to go back to the East Coast. So what was really neat about the whole thing is the timing. Like, we invited you to come over here, and we were going to host you with no place. We had no place to host you, but come over, we're going to host you. And just before you got here, we ended up landing a really amazing basement apartment place and a house right around the corner from a very busy area in Portland, Oregon, which a
Mhm.
lot is going on there.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited about what Yeshua is going to do with us there, and
Yeah.
we're hoping the best.
I hope to check out the Bible Project.
Yeah, we got an appointment set up for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully the 24th
Mm-hmm.
of July.
Mm-hmm.
We know some people that work there, so yeah, we'll take you on a tour.
One thing I remember that we maybe need to touch on too is after Morocco, you came back to the Netherlands
That's right, we did.
and you spent, I think, another 2 or 3 months there.
Yeah.
And you've been to a conference, to
I forgot
Heartcry,
about that. That's right.
Heartcry
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, it was neat. We're friends with a friend you introduced us to him.
Yeah.
We were staying there, and he invited us to this Heartcry conference. And once we got there, it was, the Dutchies are pretty proper and their clothes are nice and ironed. And we kind of come through the gate, and everyone just like what just walked in here. It's like Kirtz has got a skirt on,
It's all
long
wrinkled.
hair, and not too wrinkled. I think we're
Who
pretty.
are these
we're
guys
right
from,
people.
We probably just
But we
pulled
got
our
big-
clothes out of the bike bags. And,
There are some of the reformers coming in here from 400 years
and
ago.
we just got these, big bushy beards. We
Yeah,
traveled
yeah.
through time to get here, and all the Dutchies just seemed so interested. They wanted to talk to us, and we were talking to people, and then finally the conference started, and they were doing some worship, and we saw these people go up to our host,
Mm.
and they were talking to him, and next thing you know, they came over and he says, "Could you be ready to give a message in 10 minutes?"
Arjan Baan said that?
No, this other person
No.
said it.
It's like
But-
there was no discussion about us sharing anything.
No, we
Yeah.
just showed up and we were going to partake of the conference. And next thing you know, they're asking us, can we go up and speak? So we said, well, we could pray about it. So we took to prayer, and next thing you know, 10 minutes later, we're on stage.
Yeah.
And they're asking us about our travels, what we're doing, about Morocco.
You
that
give a
whole
testimony.
experience. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really neat. And then after that, they had asked if we would speak to the youth, of which there was about maybe 100, I think. It was really nice, just trying to encourage them.
I find it so encouraging, me myself being involved now there also in Heartcry Netherlands,
Yeah,
that
that's right.
they always give people, I'm looking for the word for it, you would say a podium
Okay.
to speak,
Platform.
a platform, that's
Yeah.
the right word.
Yeah.
And just to trust the Lord that He will use that, He
Mhm.
will use those testimonies.
What was
And
really
Arjan gave
neat-
you, that platform to speak.
What was really neat, there was this woman that came up, and she had heard the message, what we were sharing, more so about her testimony. And she lived up in the northern part of the Netherlands. And she said if we're ever up there, she would like to host us.
Mm.
Well, what happened was some friends ended up going back to the Netherlands. And I said, meet up with this woman and her family.
Mhm.
So I gave the contact.
Yeah.
I spent time with her. She ended up coming to America.
Oh yeah,
Her and her family,
I've
and
heard about
stayed
that.
with us in Idaho,
I met
which is
them.
way across.
Yeah.
You met them?
yeah,
Yeah, way across
Last year.
the United States on the western part.
Yeah.
Really sweet family, but it was so neat. The last thing I would have ever expected was this woman that extended such gracious hospitality to us that we couldn't partake of because we're getting ready to go back to America.
yeah.
Would one day be in America at
We
the
would
place we were staying.
and we would be hosting her.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Mm.
So we have just so many testimonies that we've harvested over the years of, again, his faithfulness and things that we couldn't orchestrate in our own strength if we tried.
Yeah.
And these are just some of the blessings of launching out into the deep.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you don't catch
And you-
fish in
you
the
lived-
shallows. You got to launch out into the.
You lived in a community
waters.
that was always much about sharing the gospel,
That was priority. Yeah, everything we did was in support
the
of
Great
that.
Commission.
So whatever work that we did was to further our travels. And
Yeah.
we could share.
And now you decided to live in Portland, Oregon,
Yeah, I mean,
and to
we usually,
maybe invest in a new community.
Different type of ministry. Things
Yeah.
change, times and seasons.
Mhm.
I think that we want. When we've been traveling so much and we've received so much hospitality and we've just scattered seeds far and wide, and we've
Yeah.
maintained relationships. But I think we want to. This time we want to kind of have a table that people can come to, and we can break bread, and we can go deep and get invested into our community as well.
Mhm.
Because we see in the scriptures that a lot of ministry happened. Yeshua's ministry happened around a table.
Around the table.
Or the early
There you
church,
go.
they had a
Yeah.
house with a table.
Yeah.
And they were able
You
to
can talk heart to heart there.
Yeah.
And I
generous.
remember you wanted to invest in the youth.
Yeah,
You have a heart for the
definitely,
youth.
Definitely, yeah. They're the next generation. We're getting older. Someone's got to carry the torch, and so
Mhm.
yeah, we'd like to try to take them under our wings a bit, share what we've learned, and encourage them. And We're still going to do some traveling, I think. I don't think we're so rooted that we can't get up and go. But at this season in our life, after so much intense travels, I think we want to just marinate more in the scriptures and invest in other people's lives. So that's our desire in our heart. And it seems like Yeshua's just paved the way for us and opened up some really neat doors. So we're pretty excited about that. We have a brother getting here in the next few days or so. So there'll be 3 of us, maybe eventually more, as we have a potential to take over a whole house. Right now it's just the basement. It's a kind of large house.
At some point, we hope it's a witnessing hub where people can come and we can go out and we can do ministry together. We can have a rhythm of life where the whole house, can come together and read and pray and just have like spiritual activities together and witness together.
Continuing what we've been doing in the rhythms of that kind of lifestyle. So, trying to be faithful with what He's called us to, and just the times we're living in.
The future is ancient.
The future is ancient. Yes. Stand in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where's the good way and walk therein, and you'll find rest unto your souls. So we desire that rest. He's faithful to give it. We're looking forward to the eternal rest, the eternal Shabbat.
We are. And when His body, like from all nations, from all tongues, it says in the book of Revelations, they will be one kingdom, one people, with one Lord, one shepherd, one flock. It's something we want to live out right now, and it's something we look forward to.
Something you have to prepare and you have to enter into. You have to labor, it says, to enter into that rest
by faith, by His mercy.
You don't
by His grace.
At that time, be looking back and being like, I wish I would have prepared better.
Even so, come.
So, do one of you like to end with a last thought?
Well, I mean, we always just want to encourage people to take the next step that Messiah is calling us to, especially the youth, that they would step out into to deep waters so that they find themselves doing the impossible, that they'd have stories like this and testimonies to encourage people with, because it builds the morale of the body. And that's what we need. Too often we could be in places of complacency, but when someone comes into our lives and just shares the faithfulness of Yeshua and just the adventures of being a disciple and just learning under Him and being an apprentice to Him, it sparks an interest. It sparks like a revival of the soul. So that's something that we want to encourage people in.
Yes.
To encourage one another daily while it's still called today.
To practice the way of Jesus.
Yeah.
We all practice a way.
We do. Yeah.
We all are, as they would say, an apprentice of something or someone.
Yeah.
But then His way is the way.
You're going to serve something. So you might as well serve what's from everlasting to everlasting. It's worth it. Yeah.
It is.
It's totally worth it.
It's because worthy is the Lamb. Was slain.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
I would just say that something I've learned is that Elohim is really patient with us on this journey. But we are all appointed, a certain amount of time. And just we really esteem people, like even in the scriptures. And you read stories about people who've really made sacrifices in life, and you look at them and you're just like, wow, ooh, oh, like I would like to be like that. The thing is we can be like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost us something.
Yes.
And just again, if you're looking back, if you could write a letter to yourself, or if you could go into the future and look back, you would probably make a lot of different decisions and you would do things differently. So just try to have a long haul perspective looking back. And one guy told me the unbroken law of humanity is everybody does what's most important to them. And so let's make his sacrifice, what he's done for us, like the most important thing to us.
Mm.
And let's live for him because he gave himself for us.
That's something worth living for. All right.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We're in glory land here. This is fantastic.
Glory.
Yeah. Yep. It's all around us. It's just crying out. The rocks are crying out behind us. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.